Oh man, I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired and I think it's time to wrap up the trading day with this beautiful selection of donuts. I'm definitely ready for the weekend, and after a very shaky week for me, great month, but shaky week, I ended today green, and that put me over the edge just a little bit for this week. So we ended this whole week green by I think like 20 bucks or something like that. I didn't really calculate it, but I know based on the P&L we're green a little bit. So that's pretty awesome because it was a shaky week, and today specifically we didn't really get any really clean setups from 9:30 to 11, and after 11 it was like halt central out there. So I'm happy I didn't have any leftover FOMO or anything like that and enter a trade when you really want to be wrapping up around 11, because we saw it first with BKYI. This thing was it was kind of fading all day, and then it finally had that big rip to the upside, but it was really just a giant fake out, and then instantly pulled back in 3 halts, like 20%. It was super wicked. And then right afterward, we had ASTC pull back as well after it gets a offering news. So I think it was like almost 1 million shares. It was like 900,000 shares or 875,000 shares that it was selling into the market at 375. And that stock got halted and just ripped down. So these are things you start seeing after 11 o'clock or in the second half of the trading day. You typically don't see them in the first 30 minutes or first hour of trading. And that's why I like trading the gap and go strategy so much, because that's the time when stocks might pull back a little bit. They might have a little red to green move, but most likely you're going to have those big early rips to the upside. And after that, you're done trading. You can go home, you can enjoy the weekend, you can do whatever you want. You just have to be focused for that first hour. And that is why this is such a good strategy to really get good at. Good strategy to get good at. And I wrote these 5 things down so I wouldn't forget it. Basically, why do you not want to trade after 11 o'clock? And well, one, halts. They happen a lot more after 11 o'clock. You typically don't see these halts happen first thing in the morning because, this company decides to dump some shares onto the market, or because some warrants are exercised. You just typically don't see it. So 2 was kind of the stock offerings. 3 is you have these fake outs, which are typically led due to lower volume. So less traders means less people watching for potential breakouts, which means if a breakout happens, there might just be more sellers than people, momentum traders actually there. And then the 5th thing is just, you're tired. You've probably been trading for an hour and a half. Maybe you were trading pre-markets. Maybe you've been trading 2-3 hours. Either way, for me, I'm in Berlin, so it's already in the afternoon. I've been working all morning. So it's just, I don't really want to keep trading at this point. I'm tired. I've already had some winners. I've had some losers. So maybe I'm trading at this point with a bit more FOMO. Maybe I'm trading with revenge trading. So it's getting a little bit more emotional than objective. And I just found over the months and over the years that wrapping up my trading, usually by 11 o'clock, is the way to go. I'll tell you what, with crypto trading and Forex trading, that 24/7 kind of atmosphere makes it really, really tough, because sometimes you just don't know when to stop, and you might have a great strategy. You might, have these really good winning trades, and then all of a sudden you mess up because you go into a trade emotionally fueled because you're just tired, or you start breaking some rules because you're not thinking straight. So I want to talk a little bit more about that today on the charts as well, because you can really see how the volume disappears and the weirdest things start happening in the market. So we're going to check out a little bit of that as well. Also today, I finally paid myself my 25% of the monthly profit. So the last 3 months I didn't pay myself because, we had a small account. I was growing it from 4,000 to just about 7,000 now. And I was like, okay, well, I'll finally pay myself, and I want to start doing that at the end of every month for the month before. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and that allows me to build up a cash pile on the side, or take money out of an account. I do that with all my businesses, and it takes a little bit of stress out of any one business because you have a nice pile of cash on the side. You don't have to worry too much. At first, it doesn't really make sense. You're like, why are you taking out like $200 this month because it was a slow month, or you have a small account like we do right now. But in time, as your business or your trading account grows $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 profit a month, like our crypto trading account, we had weeks where we were making $3,000 before the hack, and taking money out of those accounts constantly, or if it's Enzlo or whatever business you have, allows you to focus more on cash flows and never get too stressed over one specific project. And I found that it has been a really, really good way to treat my life. And also, or treat my businesses. And also it kind of gets your portfolio in more of a hedge fund kind of mindset, right? Like 2 and 20 rule, for example, but instead of 2 and 20, where you take 2% of assets under management and 20% performance fees per year, per month, or whatever you do, I like to just keep it very simple and say 25% of my performance fee I pay to myself at the end of every month. All right, guys, let's go to the charts. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoy this content, and consider subscribing if you're new. I would love to see you again on a recap video or in the stream on the chat, in the chat room. If you have any questions, leave them below. Let's get to it. It's definitely donut time as well. I wonder if this would go with the wine. Oh wow, Boston cream, so good. Now that was a long stream, guys. Yeah, we went past to like 11:30 or something like that. Typically we wrap up around 10:45, but you know what? I didn't really want to keep trading, and I didn't keep trading. I was just thinking, you know, BKYI, which we got out right here around 10:45, you know, was having a nice run up. So we were kind of watching that one. And then we watched it get halted 3 times. It got halted 3 times on the way down. And then all of a sudden it was 11:09. And then ASTC got its secondary offering on shares, which just destroys stock price, because basically the company is dumping shares into the market or selling shares to raise capital, which is sometimes good for the company, but horrible for investors, and the stock price just plummeted. So then we watched that hold. That was two halts, and I think they were 10 minutes halts. So it was just, all of a sudden it was like 11:30 and got a little bit late. Right now I'm watching BKYI, which was our lead gapper. And, you know, let's just talk about this one a little bit, because this thing moves up. Check out that pre-market, 330% pre-market. The market cap on it is about 29 million, and that's after a big run. So this is a small company, and shares outstanding about 14 million, but 7 million is the actual float. Now, what's the catalyst? Because the price is also in the exact area that we're looking at, between $2 and $7 for my ideal lead gappers. And if you go here to the long-term chart, you can see, well, it's been paused so much today, but it had a giant contract. It was a $45 million contract winner right here to build e-commerce infrastructure across Nigeria. And that, I mean, for the market cap alone on BKYI, that was like a 4 times kind of deal. That deal is 4 times as big as the company. Now it's about, you know, half the size of the company. But this morning or yesterday, I mean, that's just an insanely big deal for such a small cap. Kind of a choppy trading stock. And around 1.5 we have support, about 2.5 we have some resistance, and we've been kind of trading in this range all day. I was waiting for this thing to have a bit of a red to green move. I felt like the fact that it was up over 300% was a bit overextended. It was very thickly traded all morning, or pre-market, so extended hours, and I didn't really feel like it had it in it for a continuation move. So basically a gap and then a go. Even though, you know, we had a quick pullback here, 1 minute pullback, and then ripped up, but then got rejected. Around 1.8, we had some support, 14% move. But then again, rejected, got halted here, and then pulled back. So this was, I felt like a pretty tough one to trade. It wasn't until the afternoon, sorry, I'm kind of skipping around here. It wasn't until the afternoon until we had a really, really nice 5-minute breakout right here. And then we had that pullback for this big move to the upside. This was a 25% move. And I probably should have held. But what I did, I traded this one a little bit early. I traded this 5-minute breakout and this 1-minute pullback, and I actually traded it a little bit more aggressively. I actually bought it into the break. So I held through this and then sold into this breakout. I got basically, I don't know, like 5% on this trade. I was under allocated on my position size, only made 40 bucks. It's really nothing to run home about, but still, I think, you know, we were patient, and eventually we got what we were looking for on this trade. So overall, I'm actually quite happy about how it turned out. I definitely sold too soon, and I probably, instead of selling my position, I probably should have averaged into my position. I should have bought another position size here and let this one rip. I think it had a lot of potential. It was our lead gapper. There was not a lot of small caps running today. Large caps are pulling back. So this thing, BKYI, you know, it wasn't an amazing stock because it was up so much already, and it was kind of weak, and it was, I don't know, I wouldn't put my life savings into it, but it had all the potential for at least an attempt to break higher, right? And I felt like I wanted to trade the attempt. I didn't really want to trade that actual break higher. And you know what? That actual break higher happened, but it also got instantly rejected on 3 halts on the way down. So at the same time, it didn't really work out. You know, if this worked out, it would have probably broke 2.6, 2.7, and then absolutely ripped on maybe to 3 to 3.5. That would have been a real breakout. But this thing basically was just a very large fake out. And I don't know, we almost traded it down here on the 3rd hold. I kind of missed this one, which is kind of disappointing because I think getting this halt on the way down, this would have been a really good buy. I don't even know why I didn't do it. So shame on me for that. But, you know, ended the day up a little bit green. Ended the week up a little bit green, which is nice because this week was tough for me. I don't know why. First week of March, we dominated. Second week was really, really smooth as well. And then this week was just like, I was just kind of dropping the ball a little bit. Wait, or does that even put us on the right time? 7:14, 21. Yeah, okay. So we kind of started off a little bit different, but it's been a strong month. It's actually my strongest month right now with the Gap and Go strategy account. So I'm not complaining at all. You know, sometimes you have a few days where you're just kind of on the wrong side. And I kind of understood that I was getting on the wrong side of some of these trades. So, you know, I'm just going to keep on being a little bit more cautious into Friday. And it definitely paid off because let's very quickly look at some of these lead gappers from yesterday. We had MFA, one of the big runners from yesterday, just absolutely getting destroyed today. Had a nice little instant mini run. Breaking higher in the morning, we pulled it back to 1.8 and then, you know, ran up 20%, but then just sold off again. And this 157, that we were on the stream watching this one, this could have been a good entry at 157. But I was a little scared because, you know, I tried to do this in the afternoon, a little bit of afternoon trading, and I made a little bit of money on these 2 trades, but I had some real big issues dip buying this one. I always felt like when it finally did sell off, it sold off way more aggressively than you would think. And it always kind of basically made me get into the trade too early. Luckily, I never had to cut my losses on them, but my stops were so close. And I don't know, I didn't feel comfortable again because I just didn't want to go through that same experience. But yeah, I mean, 157 would have been such a good entry on this. I just, at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if it just hit 140 or something like that, and then randomly flashed to 130. But it is a larger cap, so maybe not. I don't know. It's a tough one to trade. Then we had ASTC, which I was waiting to trade around 4.5 all day. And we finally get to 4.59, 4.6, and then we had the bounce. And I'm like, oh, come on, I missed this one. This was also a lead gapper, I think 2 days ago. You can kind of see it here on the daily chart. I really don't like trading lead gappers when they're no longer lead gappers and they're just kind of like on the backside of a move because you got bag holders, you got traders not really interested in it anymore, you got people just kind of cutting losses, and then you get things like this where the stock just sells off all day. And then this company, lo and behold, twice today comes out with direct offering news at $3.75 a share. Check out this one. So 873,000 common shares offering at $3.75. I can't even read anymore. $3.75 a share at $16.15. Check this out. $16.15. What is that? 5 hours back. That's $11.15. That's right around here. So, boom! That news article comes out, and whack! This thing gets halted twice on the way down. Goes down 20%. Very brutal. So if I just had a limit order chilling here, you know, we would have got slammed. And that's a big reason I don't like trading after, honestly, 10:30 and 11 o'clock. I usually totally close up shop. And yeah, I mean, even with RMTI, trust me, I'm super tempted to trade this one. But I think, again, you know, we probably would have just got on the wrong side of this trade. I don't know. I would probably look to enter it around 43 maybe, and then I missed it, and then I would have chased it, and then all of a sudden it keeps selling off. You know, it's a slippery slope to be trading this late. Not to mention, like I said in the beginning, it's like, you know, you have halts, you have offerings, you have these fake outs, which is primarily due to traders already being done with trading. So you have lower volume, which means basically it's, you know, breakouts aren't as strong anymore, which leads to the fake outs. So it's kind of like this vicious cycle. And then by now, you know, you've been trading for like 2 hours, so you're also a little tired. You've had winners, you've had losses. You're going to be a little bit, you know, maybe have some revenge trading, or maybe you're going to have a little bit of FOMO trading if you miss some morning trades. So, you know, what's the point? Yeah, it's a slippery slope. So LITB was actually her second lead gapper. I was like, wait, there's something else I wanted to talk about. LITB was our second lead gapper today. I had a limit order at 97 to buy this one. We dipped below my limit order, it bounced. It didn't get triggered for some reason. and I would have closed that position. I would have took my 5-7% profit and moved on. So this one would have been a really good trade, but for some reason TOS did not execute it, and that was kind of disappointing. Yeah, I've been having really bad luck lately with these morning bounces. I just actually all of them would have been profitable trades, but either I get shaken out at a bad time because there's a flash crash or something like this where my order just doesn't get executed. So it's been really kind of annoying with these kind of support line bounces lately. So I don't even know what to say about that anymore, besides the fact that, you know, LITB has been a former runner many times before. 85%, you know, gap up, $8 million volume. But the news article on it was so shady. It was like stockpile of the face masks for the coronavirus. You know, now they're shipping worldwide. So like, were they waiting for the event to get so bad? I don't know. It just felt like really shady news. So I was like, I don't know. LITB, Light in the Box. It's like this Chinese wholesale online e-commerce site. Kind of reminds me a little bit like of Alibaba, but different. Anyway, I remember day trading this one years back. It's not going to be on this chart because it was a different account at the time, but yeah, I wasn't too stoked about it, but I thought, you know, based on this big run up, there's a good chance that we're going to have a nice little support line bounce here because we had like, you know, breakout, pull back, breakout, and now we're pulling back to the former big support line. So LITB was kind of like, it could have been a good trade. TLRY, let's quickly look here. TLRY was a hot one in the chat room today. Whew. And I never totally felt comfortable trading it because it's kind of on its third green day. I also want to argue it's only on its second green day because this was the first one with big volume. Either way, you know, $10, big time support and resistance, kind of came up to this area, tried to break out from it, didn't work. I don't know, it wasn't really a lead gap or anything. I just didn't really feel like there was a lot of eyes on it, even though that volume on it is big, the dollar volume is big, but the market cap is also big. So it's just kind of like a large company that follows the market, and the market's been selling off all day. So I didn't feel like TLRY is really a company that you wanted to jump on. The float was much smaller though. Shares outstanding was 104 million, but the float was a 15 million. So it had that, you know, spikeability opportunity, but it didn't have the follow through. It was kind of like on the last leg, and yeah, there we go. That's everything for this video, guys. I think that I recapped everything I wanted to say. Just good fun there on the stream. It definitely went a little bit longer than expected. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I definitely enjoyed it. You know, being quarantined, there's nowhere I gotta really run off to. So why not let the streams go a little bit longer? All right, guys, I'll wrap up with that. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to leave a like. I definitely appreciate all of them. And if you're totally new here, consider subscribing. I would love to see you for another recap or on the stream in the chat room. It's always good fun. If you have any questions, leave them below. I'll see you next time, first thing on Monday. Have a great weekend, guys. Till then, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.